Hey, hello everyone. So here is my quick introduction. That is my name. It's a condensed name. My full name is Bharani Kumar Depuru. You'll see that even on the GoToMeeting, right? That's my full name. People find it very difficult to pronounce my full name, so I've condensed that to Kumar, which will be very easy, right? Here is my education details. I'm alumni of JNTU. I've done my computer science engineering there. I'm a BTech grad. And then I've done my one-year program from Indian School of Business here in Hyderabad. And here are the professional certifications which I hold. I'm a PMP certified professional. That's a unique ID, right, which is given to any person who passes, right? And it's active now. I've taken this PMP way back in 2008. So it's still active. I got it renewed. And I'm also PMI ACP certified, Agile certified practitioner. That's the corresponding ID there. If you search by that ID, you'll find that I'm certified basically. So it just brings in that authenticity. I'm also PMI RMP certified, risk management professional certified from PMI, Project Management Institute. I'm a certified Scrum Master. I'm a Lean Six Sigma Green Belt from RABQSA. I've done my Six Sigma Black Belt from RABQSA, Quality Society of Australia is here. I'm a Six Sigma Master Black Belt certified. I'm ITLV version 3.0 certified. I've done my Agile Project Management certification in two levels, basically foundation and then the practitioner. When I've taken this, I was the only Indian who could clear the cutoff for the trainer, because trainers were expected to get a higher percentage as compared to your other people. And that means the pass mark and the trainer cutoff was different, so I could pass that. That is from APMG UK, and that's on DSDM, Dynamic System Development Methodology Attern. That's the latest version of that Agile methodology. Right, and this is my profession. I'm a data scientist by profession. I do a lot of research projects in analytics space. As in how we move on, I'll speak. As in how there is a situation which arises, I'm going to, briefly speak about few of the research projects that I'm part of. And that's my passion. I've played for Hyderabad Cricket Association. I have been an ardent follower of all the bodybuilding events. I'm a bodybuilder by profession also, you can term in that way, right? So that's a rare combo is what people say, and that is about my boring profile. Now, once you log into your Edureka website, Sankalp has this question: are you an independent consultant or with a corporate? Oh, Sankalp, that's nice to hear. You're into CrossFit too. Yeah. So Sankalp, as of now, I'm working with Indian School of Business as a research associate. The job of research associate is to work on research projects along with the professors. And the current project that I'm working on is about video analytics. If you guys remember a few years back in US in Connecticut, right, there was a shootout. There was a person who was gone on a rampage killing the small school children, right? 6 months before he has done that particular crime, he has posted few videos of his on YouTube. First video he has posted said that he was frustrated with his childhood because his parents were separated while he was still young, while he was a kid. The second video that he has posted said that he was disturbed with his schooling because teachers have always differentiated him from the rest of the students. He felt very, very weird. That is what the second video says. The third video that he has posted was about his own brother deserting him, not playing with him, not speaking with him because He was scared about the society, what would society feel and things like that. The fourth video that he has posted was that he wants to purchase a gun. Fifth video that he has purchased a gun. And the sixth video that he has posted was 2 hours before he has committed the crime. He clearly mentioned that he's going to a specific school to shoot the children. We had 2 hours to take corrective measures. We had 6 months to actually save the lives and save this person who was undergoing some mental trauma. How good is analytics if analytics cannot help you, cannot help for the well-being of the human beings here, right? So based on this logic, there's a research project which I'm associated with along with the various other professors, and that is all about analyzing the videos that are there on the internet, be it Dailymotion, be it YouTube, or be it Youku, or whatever be it, right? People keep posting videos. Can we quickly analyze those? And how do you analyze? It would be zettabytes of data. Those are videos, right? How would you analyze those and try to tease out these kind of events? Someone undergoing some psychological problem, someone, undergoing some other problem, someone, associated with terrorist activities, whatever be it, right? So how to tease out those things and take some corrective actions even before the damage happens, right? So video is broken down into multiple frames of images. Images is broken down into pixels. Based on that, you analyze and try to come out with interesting insights. And it becomes even more important if a video is not in English language. Think about Spanish, the second most widely spoken language, right? Right, and then you have various other languages. So people will be posting in different languages. So your model that you're going to build should be able to analyze different videos of different sizes, of different formats, of different languages, right, of different themes. And from all of those, you need to bring out these kind of interesting insights. So that's all about the research project that I'm associated with. Okay. Over to our discussion here. Once you log into Edureka website, you'll find some interesting things, right? These are my courses. That means I'm training basically on these 3 things for Edureka. If you are aligned to this data visualization with Tableau, that would appear for you. All you need to do is click on that, and it's going to show you the list of courses or modules which are part of your data visualization with Tableau. I'm assuming you all might have already done that. That means you already might have installed Tableau 9. If you haven't done so, I would request you guys to go to Tableau website and install Tableau 9. Anyways, installation guides are also given here, right? That's the course content. You have the various modules. This program would last for 10 days. So today is the first day. We'll be looking into introduction to data visualization with Tableau. This session would be more of theoretical, trying to understand the architecture of Tableau, its server-client architecture, and few of the basics about Tableau, right? So today, do not expect, please, on any kind of visualization on Tableau or hands-on. From tomorrow, we will get started, and we're going to do deep dive as in how we move forward, right? So the first 2 or 3 sessions would be kind of mundane for you all. There would be less and less hands-on in the first few sessions. As in how we move on, right? The difficulty level and the kind of analysis that we are going to do is only going to increase. So by the time you reach the end of the session, 10th module, you'll appreciate the things that you have learned. So don't take a judgment as soon as you attend the first 2 modules. Don't jump in and say that, hey, I've learned nothing. Right? It's nothing because we are just into the introduction part. And the next class, if you were to join, you can click on this join class, right? So it's very easy for you all to join. The navigation is easy. And if you have any question, right, you can post a question here by clicking on that. Whatever question you have, whatever course you're undergoing, right, you can select that and post your question. And I'll be more than happy to assist you on that. Okay, since you all are new to Tableau or explored to some extent, I'm assuming that it should be a good interactive session here. All right. So I would sincerely request you guys to restrict your question to the topic at discussion. Do not jump in, because the questions that you might be asking, right, by jumping the guns would be something which would get covered at a later point of time, maybe. Right. But nevertheless, shoot out your question. If that question would be addressed somewhere else, I'm going to let you know that it will be covered in the next session or something like that. Otherwise, I'll help resolve that. So that's about the introduction. And do you have any questions for me at this point of time? Any of y'all? Naresh, Pramod, Sankalp, do you guys have any questions for me? This Tableau version, right, would expire in 14 days. And once it expires, you cannot do much other than purchasing the license, because Tableau is going to track you based on your computer's IP address. Based on your IP address. So you have installed once, that means it gets registered in your registry and the IP address is tracked by Tableau. I should not be saying this, but probably if you have anyone, doing your MS or something there, can probably help you with a license, because for students, Tableau is free of cost. You just need to provide the ID, student ID, as a proof. The license that I have is a student license because I'm into research. It's more or less like, I believe, yes. But again, we need to check on that. No, we need to check on that. But there are a few conditions that you need to be a full-time student, or, it should be a 1-year program or things like that. But still, I would request you to just give a shot at that. I'll see if I can be of any help to you in this regard. So that was, off-track or offline discussion, right? So I have not recorded this. I'm not on record. All right, started the recording now. Okay. Why do we need to learn only Tableau? Are there no other visualization tools? If that is your question, here is my answer. Did anyone hear about Gartner's Magic Quadrant? Yes, so Gartner has this Magic Quadrant, which it publishes, right? Yeah, you can try out that. You can try out that. Yeah. So good that you guys have heard about Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Otherwise, I'm anyways trying to show you that. This is BA and analytics platform there. This is 2012. Doesn't make sense. Mobile application, Gartner's Quadrant. All right, probably we need to look into the first one only. So as of Feb 2013, right? This was a snapshot. Tableau software there is on the top. It's much about click view. And now if you see, Tableau would be far ahead of the race. I think we need to go to Tableau website and check. Tableau, Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Yeah, here we go. So in 2015, Tableau was a market leader. Here it's coming up, Gartner's Quadrant. Let me click on that. Here we go, yeah. Undoubtedly, today Tableau is on top of the list here. So Gartner's Magic Quadrant is based on ability to execute your strategy and ability or completeness of vision, right? Based on these two, you are classified in one of these quadrants. Here, Tableau is placed in the leaders quadrant, right? So undoubtedly that is ruling the world now, Tableau, in data visualization. So this is one strong reason why you have to be happy that, you have taken a right decision in learning Tableau. This number one. Number two, is Tableau all about visualization? Because Aun has told about the burst in the big data, and it makes sense for us to know Tableau. And Sankalp has already been into that. Pramod is also keen on learning Tableau. So Naresh, I'm assuming you're able to hear me. So there is a small article which was written by Katie Nudgetts, which is specialized in research in analytics space. And you'll be surprised to see this. No doubt that R is ruling the world now when it comes to analytical space. This is R. You do a lot of coding and you write all the things. You do a lot of statistics and all that. However, it has 46.9% market share. This is core analytics tool. But if you come down and look at this is amazing. Tableau has 12.4% market share when it comes to analytics. So Tableau is not just about visualization, data visualization. It is also about using analytics. And if you see SAS, it has very less market share, 11.3%, right? And it has been dipping steadily. Let me also show you one more interesting thing. Let me go to Google Trends and show you the kind of demand which Tableau has as of now. Look at that. I think there is some kind of a seasonality issue here. July. Not sure. Maybe in July it's business as usual and no one is going to come up with any new release or something like that. Not sure. Or look at this forecast. So it's only increasing, right? Tremendously. That's a good part about Tableau. So you see that the demand is steady, or there is a slight trend, upward trend here. Right? And if you go by region, you see that in France there is a lot of demand, Madagascar and things like that. So it's not just in US or the developed countries, right? The kind of demand is also extremely high in these kind of regions. That's a good part. You can drill down to the city level and view that. Or maybe Tableau is a different word, right? Maybe it's looking into different other words rather than looking into just Tableau software. So let me put by gram and see what happens here. This makes sense, right? Now I think region also would be changing. Yeah, now it's United States and India. Because Tableau as a word has a different meaning, right? Tableau. If you do that. A group of models or motionless figures representing a scene from a story or from history. French people are very good at history, historical things and all that, right? Historical research. Probably that's the reason France was standing out. But if you look into this, here you see a good trend. If you forecast, the trend is only going to increase. And we know for a fact that it picked up from 2007, right? Until then, no one knew what Tableau was. So if you want to drill down by city, you can do so. If you all are from Let me see whether Atlanta or California is here. No, it's not there, but I'm happy because Hyderabad is one of those. Bengaluru is there. Anyways, and you see a lot of demand here in UK and probably that region. France also. And obviously United States, Canada also has some demand, right? So, you are in the right direction by learning Tableau. This is another thing. We will jump into the presentation and look into what are the other benefits which Tableau has. But I believe someone has spoken about maps. Someone is crazy about maps. I think it's Sankalp, right? So let me show you one interesting thing. While I was in Russia in St. Petersburg for All India IT Employee Association meeting, right? Wherein delegates from different countries have come, and I've represented India because I'm also director of All India IT Employee Association, or union, if you were to call it that way. So we have collected the GDP from 1960 until 2013, I believe. When you do these kind of visualizations, right, look at the small red dots. Those are GDP of the country. Now everything is red. That means the GDP is very less, very low. Right? And you can play a motion chart. This is called as a motion chart, which I've used because I wanted to make a story while I play this. So let me play that. If you see carefully, the size of the red dots are going to increase greatly. If you see, there is a sudden increase here in German GDP. Also, Japan GDP is increasing like crazy. US is fast increasing there. And if you see Italy, France, and UK is also increasing. And China, we do not even see it there in 1980s, right? Japan has become second world power in comparison to US, and then Russia has started picking up. Germany is further increasing. You have France, Italy, and UK, which are steadily increasing. And look at this China now. It has started picking in 2000, right? In 2000, it has started picking, and US has already become green. That means its GDP it's almost 17 T. And look at this, Japan. Off late, it has become green now. Look at China, sorry. Look at Japan. Japan has also started, and it was on par with US. However, US has taken away, and then all of a sudden, your China has, started picking up in 2000, and it has now reached a position where it's next only to US. And you see that here in European region, Germany, UK, France, and Italy are still strong. And then you have Spain also, which is not behind the scenes. And then you have Australian GDP, you have Indonesia, the small countries, right? Turkey, Saudi Arabia. The small countries are also challenging. And here you have Mexico and Canada. So let me play this at a faster pace, and you can visualize this. Yeah, that's a good part, right? I could have broken down here into probably month and seen month on month what was happening there, but I could have created another thing which says instead of year, I want each month. I want to break it down. If I have the data at that granularity, GDP of each country, maybe each quarter, maybe that would have made sense. So this is one thing that I wanted to show you. Another thing is the store management dashboard, right? So this is a project which we have done for a Chinese client. So how does it work? Let me put that in the slide mode. All right, sorry friends, that was my kid. Okay, so let me put it in the slide mode. This is a shopping mall, all right, and this shopping mall had all these various stores. They have segregated into different departments, or different sections of the floor was having things alike. For example, all the sporting goods were towards one corner, That means you would see Nike, Reebok, Puma, and things like that towards one corner. You'll see all the electronic goods towards other corner, restaurant in one place, all KFC or Subway and things like that would fall into one segment. All your home and lifestyle would fall into one segment and things like that. And baby care products towards one segment. So how would this help? The moment you enter a shopping mall, you'll be provided free Wi-Fi access. So you tend to connect to that. The moment you connect, right, you need to provide the basic demographic information such as your gender, age, and any other details which might be relevant in deciding on whether you're going to purchase something or not, right? So you provide those basic demographic details and connect to the Wi-Fi, and then you enter the shopping mall. The moment you enter the shopping mall, you would be assigned. Let me play that here. Here we go. So all these are human beings, right? And you're tagged a unique ID. If I hover my mouse on that, you see that there is a unique ID, the last entry there. Right? So when did you enter the restaurant? That is time of entry. What section are you in? Which state was that? What was the time range during which you were in the shopping mall? X and Y axis. Because you're in the space for me kind of, and I need to track based on X coordinates and Y coordinates on where you are and things like that. All right, so the interesting part here is that you can track on who is spending majority of the time where. Say there is one person in grocery store. He opens the e-commerce website and searches for the cost of, say, Apple iPhone 6 or 6s, whatever be it. Right, and then the moment this person searches for that, based on your cookies, information is sent to the relevant search engines. They in turn have a tie-up with different other product-based companies, and the information that this person has tried to search for iPhone 6 online, and the price of that, say online, was 45,000 rupees, just for our discussion. So say it was 45,000 rupees. Immediately a trigger is sent to the Apple store saying that, hey, there is one Mac ID. He has searched for iPhone 6 price on internet, and he has found that the price was 45,000 rupees. And the store owner here knows for a fact that the price of the iPhone 6, the product there in his store, was 50,000 rupees. So 5,000 more than what this person has searched. That's a trigger for the shop owner that, hey, probably he needs to bring down the price to ensure that people purchase from his store and not from the e-commerce sites. As in how this person moves around, right? Say this person from here via a restaurant, he is traveling towards the electronics store. There's a trigger which is sent to the store owner which says that, hey, that Mac ID or the unique ID, this person who has searched for iPhone 6 online is in your store now. So the moment the store owner gets that trigger, and if this person or any person for that case there enters and goes and asks the store owner on the price of iPhone 6, the store owner will provide instant 5,000 discount because he does not want to lose the sale there. A customer lost to e-commerce is like you're losing your business, right? So you'll sell it for 5,000 discount. So what is the advantage here? This person, rather than placing an order online, can purchase it immediately here. This person, if he places the order online, he'll get the iPhone 6 probably after 2 days, but here he'll get it instantly. Okay, the bunch of possibilities that exist, right? Probably you are the person who has searched for baby care products, right? When you have started to the mall 2 days or 3 days before that, you have searched for baby care products online. So that information is available with me. Based on the GPS, I'm going to track on whether you have entered the shopping mall or not. Then once you connect to the Wi-Fi there, I'm going to send you a message saying that if this is a person, right, who is in men's apparel, if he's a person who has searched for baby care products, then I'm going to send him an SMS saying that, hey, there's a baby care product store just adjacent to your men's apparel, and you have a special 10% discount on the baby care products. What am I doing? I'm increasing my sales. Right, so let me play this. So look at that, people moving around, right? So I'll be able to track who is the person who is able to move faster based on the beacons, based on the Wi-Fi, right? Because if I have one router somewhere here towards a corner, it's not going to cover the entire mall. So what do? I place different beacons in different locations. If you move from one beacon zone to another zone, one Wi-Fi zone to another zone, that based on that, I'm going to calculate the speed at which you're walking. The speed at which you're walking tells me briefly that if on an average you're going to spend 2 hours, then how many shopping malls or how many stores would you cover? If you're a person who is very lazy, 3 hours you have spent in grocery, it doesn't make sense for me to send a coupon for you from cosmetics because you tend to leave now, right? Unnecessarily, I'll be, sending a junk coupon to you, discount coupons. So you need to bear all those things in mind. Speed at which you walk, the earning power of yours based on how many transactions you have done in a particular shopping mall in the past, right? What is your earning power? Did your earning power increase? If your earning power has increased, then did your spending power also exponentially increase? Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me increase the speed and play you. There you go. So by the time it is night, probably most of the people are going to come to restaurant because you need to have dinner and go home, right? So look at that. The crowd is increasing there. So probably at 8:30 or 8:45 or from 8 onwards, I'll send coupons related to restaurant. Food coupons. Do I need to send you food coupons while you're in shopping mall at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m.? Does it really make sense? Maybe no. But are you most likely to have dinner if you're in the shopping mall at probably 8 or 9 p.m. in the night? Yes, it really makes sense. So probably I'll send you those kind of coupons, as in how it nears the end of the day or things like that, right? So you can look into how many customers, did the customers increase at a particular time, current day, right? This is on an average also. You see that how people increase, 10 days average also. Yeah. So you can do all those things in footwear, right? If you look into probably, where did restaurant go? Yeah, food and beverages there. Maybe it has increased on one day, or maybe most people start, going to the restaurant probably at this time, right? 8:15 or so, 8 to 8:15. That's a range which is given there, or at 7:45 maybe, right? Or maybe at 6. Probably you don't like the crowd, so you want to have the food and just walk away from there. And how much amount are you spending basically? At 6:30, you spend majority of the amount. Maximum amount is spent at 6:30. So it makes sense for me to, probably provide you more discounts and lure you at that point of time, followed by 9. And now 8:45, right? There are a lot of restaurants there. So your profit margins are going to dip if you are going to increase the revenue, because if most people have to come to your restaurant, your store, then you have to provide something interesting. Maybe sub of the day kind of, maybe special discount, food of the day for a special price and things like that. So that's in short about the bunch of, possibilities using Tableau. That's it for the visualization today. We are not going to look into the visualization. This is out of scope also for today's session, right? But I thought, in order to bring in that excitement and interest, I thought of showing you this. So do you have any questions around this visualization? Not the technicalities on how did you get this and things like that, but hope you have understood the logic on where Tableau can be used. Now, I would say that, this visualization requires a lot of writing some code in this Tableau. Calculated fields are there in this. Yeah, you need to do some groundwork for this kind of visualization. But for this visualization, right, there is not much that you need to do. It's a simple drag and drop. We will do this visualization also when we come to maps. And you'll be surprised that how can we accomplish this kind of beautiful visualization in 5 minutes. This is slightly advanced visualization, by the way. Yeah, Pramod, so we have taken just a sample, right? It was just a sample. If we take everyone, you would not see any space here. So this entire chart would be filled with all the black icons here, all the human black icons here. The entire thing would be filled by that. So if that is the case, I cannot show you guys, clearly on which person is moving where and things like that. So out of the entire population who came to the shopping mall, I've picked out only few people. And then just to show to the management, of that client, shopping mall owner, we have done this visualization, right? All right. So here is a quick introduction to data visualization. Of course, I'm an experienced instructor, needless to say that. I've been associated with training since long because I wish to pursue my PhD moving forward in some kind of a research space, which I've also finalized shortly. Prediction of prediction is my area of research. What does prediction of prediction say? Companies are predicting, right? Amazon is predicting on what will be their sales. Flipkart is predicting on who would purchase what product. And recommendation engine, if you have purchased this, what else are you most likely to purchase? What are the association rules and all such things, right? What if I can predict what companies are going to predict? Will I have an edge? Yes. So how do you accomplish that? Not sure. Because will the companies be providing you with the data? Not sure. If I say that, hey, I'm going to predict on what you're going to predict. I'm going to predict on what Amazon is going to predict, and will that be helpful for Flipkart or eBay? Yes, absolutely. Whenever you have Thanksgiving Day and things like that, right? What Amazon and eBay or your e-commerce players do is they start playing with the price on an hourly basis. They reduce the price for some time, they increase it, they decrease it, they see what is a buying pattern and things like that. Every hour they're going to change that. Just try out this time during the Thanksgiving Day or any of the special occasions, right? So it's going to frequently keep customers on the toes, and also it's going to bring some kind of excitement to your customers. So if I can predict upfront and say that, tell to eBay that, hey, Amazon would most likely reduce the price by $5 in the next 1 hour. Would that make sense? Absolutely, right? So eBay also can be prepared with a strategy, counter strategy to Amazon's reduction of price. Maybe. So this is something which I haven't seen anywhere. None of your research scholars have done that so far. Of course, if you want to do a PhD, it should be an unexplored zone. So that is what I'm looking into. Let's see how it works. All right. So there's a live online class. You can ask your questions in class, right? One more thing is class recording in LMS. Each and every class would be recorded in LMS. If because of some internet connectivity issue at your end, if you are unable to hear my voice, you can go through the recording. I assure that the recording would not have any sorts of disturbances there. If you miss any of the class, do not worry. You can go through the recording. You'll have module-wise assignments. You'll have project work at the end. there's a survey feedback which you need to provide at the end of each class, which is going to help me, align myself better. If you feel that, hey, you're speaking nonsense in the class, please provide me that feedback. I might not know that I'm speaking nonsense until unless I come to know from your feedback. Or if you feel that I'm doing a good job, just provide that feedback so that it might motivate me also in the long run. And at the end, you'll be getting a verifiable certificate. And this is a USP of Edureka, 24/7 support. At any given point of time, you can drop in an email to support@edureka.co, whatever be the problem or queries that you have, they are going to come back to you. If it's a technical query, they're going to route it to me, and I might take some time to respond to that based on the query that you're asking. Yeah, Sankalp, what is that? GA Tech or MIT? Am I doing my PhD from there? Is that your question? No, I'll be doing it from ISB, Indian School of Business. ISB is on par with any of your global B schools, right? In 2012 or 13, I believe, ISB was standing at 13th position globally, on par with any of this. So since I've done my master's there, I have an edge. They call it as fellowship program. All right. So this we have already discussed. You log into your Edureka using your credentials. Here is the course for data visualization with Tableau. If you go to My Course tab, you just need to click on Join Class or click on the link which you get on email. Here are the various modules that we're going to discuss. Today will be just introduction to data visualization, very, very basic things on why Tableau, what is Tableau, and things like that. Then from tomorrow onwards, we are going to get started with the basic visualizations. We'll do a deep dive on visualizations, right? Then someone was speaking about maps. We'll look into that. There'll be some amount of scripting. When I say scripting, it's about creating your own calculated fields. And then you'll also be able to play with time dimension there. That means if it is time series, how do you forecast and things like that? Then what is your location? This is also related to your map, basically. And you have incremental loading and blending. This is all about your calculations, writing code in Tableau, coming up with customized visualizations rather than using the default features. Then we know that R is #1 data analytics tool as of now. So how do we integrate Tableau with R? That's the first part. And the second part is, you all know that big data is handled using Hadoop. So how do I integrate Hadoop with Tableau? And last but not the least, we'll be discussing about the enterprise dashboards, on how to create the dashboards and things like that. All right, here are the broad objectives of this particular module. Why is data visualization needed in the first place, right? How to make sense out of the numbers which we have in Tableau, or numbers that you have in any of the data sets. Uses of Tableau. Well, how do you install, what is the architecture, and what are the features of Tableau? So these are a few things that we are going to discuss today. I use Tableau on Windows because I'm comfortable with Windows, Sankalp. So either way it works. Either way it works. Mac has its own advantages, right? But if you're not familiar with Macintosh, then probably I would request you to go with Windows only. Either way it works, but I would prefer Tableau on Windows because I'm comfortable with Windows. That's it. Nothing great. I mean, there's no differentiating factor there. All right, so let us get started. Why visualization, right? Why do we need to visualize? That's the first point that we have, right? Look at this. Let me use R. That's the tool I'll be using just to show you some interesting insight here. So there's a file by name MBA. Here we have mba.csv, right? So let me open that. So you have, I believe, 700 odd students with their work experience and the GMAT score that they've got in their GMAT prior to applying to your MBA, right, or B schools. So here are the list of students there. There are 773 students. You have work experience and the GMAT score of all those students. Now, what insights can you draw by looking into this? I'll scroll up and down. Let me know what insights you can draw. How cumbersome is it to actually analyze this entire data set? It's gonna be lengthy process, right? It's gonna be lengthy process. Visualizing this entire thing is going to be cumbersome. More work experience, lower GMAT. Not exactly. Look at this, someone has got 208 months of experience, 17. 17 is a fairly good score, right? If you look into someone with 70 has 660. Someone with 72 has 650, but 103 has 17. So we cannot generalize in that way, right? Because there are 773. Visually, drawing any kind of management decisions or inferences would be difficult if I have these kind of textual data, in tables. Instead, I can probably try and visualize this. I'll be using R for now, because anyways, we're going to get into Tableau discussion to a great extent. So let me tap MBA. So I have this MBA dataset now. I can do something called as histogram, which is a visualization tool, right? I want to do it on the GMAT score only, so let me run that. Here we go. Now this is making sense for me, right? All 773 students' GMAT scores is represented in a simple graphical format here. If you look at this, I know for a fact that majority of the people get approximately 700 to 720 score maybe. Majority of the students fall in this zone. There are very few people who have a GMAT score which is less than, say, 650. And there are very few people who have greater than 750 score maybe. So these kind of inferences can be drawn. So I know that in this B school, people who get less score very rarely get admitted, and people who have extreme scores are very rare in the market also. So majority of the people should get 700 and above GMAT score to be able to get through the interview process or the admission process. So you can draw these kind of inferences using data visualization rather than, looking into the Excel sheet or CSV, whatever format it is, scrolling up and down, trying to understand what's going on here and things like that, right? This is a good part about data visualization because human brain is cognitively limited, right? If I ask you to remember all the 773 GMAT scores, would you do that? Would that be possible for you? No. Hence, we have this visualization which is coming into picture. Visual analytics is a form of analytics in which you have interactive graphical displays of data. Why do we have this graphical representation of data? Remember one thing, it can be used, or there are two reasons why we use visualization. One thing is to bring about interesting insights from your data. That's number one. Number two is to represent the data to any of your stakeholders in such a way that it's not cognitively taxing on them. If I give the management team this particular or leadership team, right, or any of your stakeholders this particular thing and ask him to go make sense out of that, it will be very taxing on them. My visualization should not be taxing. So when will this be taxing? If I use this kind of a visualization. Instead of using a histogram, if I use a bar plot, isn't this cognitively taxing on the people? How good is this in comparison to providing them with an Excel sheet with all the 773 entries there? All right? So my visualization should not be in this way. It should not be cognitively taxing. I know for a fact that here there are a lot of people probably, right? But still, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to use a bar plot. That is the importance of visualization. Do not use any chart of your choice. Do not ensure that it is extremely colorful. Our intention is not to provide beautiful charts. Our intention is to communicate using visualization. Communicate the business inferences, business insights to the stakeholders, or bring about interesting insights from the data which we have. That is your visual analytics all about. Now this visual representations translate your data into something which is visuable, something which you can visualize, and bring about the commonalities and anomalies, right? What are the similarities and differences in the data set that can be brought out using your visual analytics or Tableau? So what is data visualization? It's a technique used to communicate information with the various stakeholders, right? Our primary goal here is to communicate information. Our goal is not to create aesthetic charts which doesn't communicate anything. That's not our intention. We want to communicate clearly and efficiently, and Tableau takes care of your beautification part to a great extent, right? So you need to take care of that. All right. What is a data analyst activity, right? You would like to be able to do what? You would like to be able to build tables, graphs, to answer some simple questions about the data. Think about big data. It will run into millions of records, millions of rows. How would you represent those millions of rows and records? In a simple visual format. That's the challenge that we have, right? So if you have any complex questions like the visualization which I've shown you related to the store, right, shopping mall and things like that, for that you need to know little programming language. And if you want to generate some basic charts, then you require no programming skills. You can change your graphs, tables, everything on a click of a button, just by clicking on different graphs, right? Unlike your R or any other coding language, right, wherein you need to write a piece of code to actually change the visualization. Here it's just completely graphical user interface, GUI based, so you just need to click on that. I'll show you Tableau in a while from now, right? If you want to give attractive and interactive presentations, right, that's going to keep them interested and engaged, that is when you want to probably use a good visualization tool. And it has to be very user friendly. So let me go back to the Tableau here and let me open a new sheet there. So this is how your Tableau visualization is going to look like, and when you open that, this is a new thing in Tableau, by the way, right? If you click on the Tableau button there, you'll be able to see this particular view. And few of the new features of Tableau 9 are as follows, right? This is a new connect window there, right? And sorry about that. So you have a lot of different files to which you can connect, and there are a few interesting videos to just get started. It's not going to cover the advanced things, but it's going to cover to a great extent. And you will come to know about the various forums, various resources, you know, the conferences of Tableau and things like that, and visualization of the week. Supreme Court somewhere has used visualization. So you can come to know about these kind of interesting things, right? You can connect to Excel, text file, Microsoft Access, any of your statistical files. If I click on that, right? If I do a drop down, it says clearly that if you're working on SAS, you can connect to SAS file. That's the extension of the SAS file, 7BDAT. Or if you're working on IBM SPSS, you can upload or you can load that data sets into Tableau. If you're working on R, you can upload those tools or those data sets also into Tableau. What does this say? What does this information convey to you about Tableau? Does it convey to you that Tableau is only visualization tool, or is it something else? What do you guys think? Absolutely. It's not just front end for statistical tools, Sankalp. Actually, you'll appreciate once we get to the end of the module, end of this training, right? That you can use code, SAS code or any other code, and then you can, yeah, it allows customization through code to help with visualization. Absolutely. I can write our code, whatever code that I've written here, right? Whatever code that I've written here, I can write this code in Tableau also. That's a good part. If I'm using some kind of a code in SAS, I can use the same code in Tableau and run the same commands through Tableau. Of course, there has to be some integration, which we'll learn towards the end of this training. So that's a good part. If you have any other files that you are planning to connect, you can do so, right? Other files. Here you have a lot of extensions, right? Tableau workbooks. Workbook means only one sheet here. I'll go to that in a while. Tableau packaged workbook means the entire package. Tableau data sources, Tableau extracts, right? Tableau packaged data sources, a lot of files, right? You have Microsoft Access extensions, star.mdb and star.accdb there. You have your Excel workbooks, right? Character limited, cube files, a lot of things. So you can connect to most of the data sources. Now, when it comes to connecting to the databases as such, look at that. There's something called as Tableau Server. We'll discuss about that in a while. Cloudera, Hadoop, SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, more servers. If you click on that, you see that you have plethora of different servers to which you can connect to, right? I'll show you about Amazon Redshift and how to connect to cloud environment and, you know, start displaying the visualization from there and things like that. The interesting part is most of your Hadoop vendors, because nowadays it's all about big data people are speaking about, right? So Cloudera, Hortonworks, MapR. So these are the key players there. So you can use any of those. Pivotal, Greenplum is there. Right? Google Analytics, Google BigQuery. So there are a lot of things. Any NoSQL? Is there NoSQL here? There is no NoSQL, but yeah, you can connect to the other databases also. You can connect to the other databases also. NoSQL also you can connect. So I'll briefly touch upon that when we discuss about integration with Hadoop, right? I'll discuss about that. Yeah, we can connect. All right. So this is all about your basic interfaces, right? There are a few inbuilt data sources within Tableau itself, right, for your own practice. So there is something called as Superstore, World Indicators. We'll be using these two along with your coffee data set, right? Your coffee data set was part of Tableau 8.3 or 8 series. Now in 9, they have not included that, but we'll be working on that also to a great extent. So if you click on that, you'll be able to toggle between the screens, right? This is a new feature there in Tableau, right? And let me connect to this data source called Sample Superstore. Once you connect to any of the data sources, right, you'll be seeing something called as dimensions here. And you'll be able to see measures. I'll look into parameters later on, but for now, look into these two, right? Dimensions and measures, right? And then we have these things which are called as shelves. You have column shelf and you have row shelf. All you do is drag and drop things onto column shelf and row shelf, which will become very clear for you in a while. And then you have this show me panel. This show me panel is a floating panel. I can just float it around. And if I close that, it's going to go there to the default place. I can maximize and minimize, and you have a bunch of visualizations here, right? You just click on that histogram, which I've shown in R, right? You click on that and you'll get the histogram. So it's very easy, very simple. Let me show you once. You can select any of your measures. The moment I select these measures, the default visualizations are going to open up. And here, if you see, for horizontal bars, try 0 or more dimensions, 1 or more measures, right? So even if I have one measure, this is your measure. Even if I have one measure, I can go ahead and, you know, display the histogram. But by default, you see that this chart is highlighted there. So let me spotlight. So by default, this is highlighted, right? You see the blue highlight. So that's the default chart, right? That's the default chart. However, based on this profit measure, you can also generate this. So I just click on that. This is a histogram which got generated. And when you, if you see here, count of profit and profit bin, by default, these things are done. So that's a simple thing. Isn't it very user friendly? It is, right? So this is all about Tableau, right? Now we have the current version, which is 9. And Tableau is fast competing with most of the other analytic players, because it's all about data scientists and data analytics also. So that's all about this. What is Tableau? Basically, it's a business intelligence software. And this is built mostly bearing in mind the end users, your customers. It's not that the developers would not be using that. Developers will use that. However, for the small requests and all that, your end users need not come back to you again and again. They can actually do their own modifications, their own amendments to the visualizations. It's very user friendly, right? If you have some kind of slow, rigid systems, it's not at all useful. Slow, rigid systems. Tableau 9 and 8, let me open even 8.0 and show you that part. 8.3, okay. Let me show you one interesting advancement of Tableau 9 here, the new feature. Just bear with me while it comes up. All right. Now let me open data visualization or anything for that case, right? So here is a new sheet that I've created. New sheet can be created by clicking on this. New dashboard can be created by clicking on that. Now let us do anything of our choice. Let me put region here, and let me put the GDP or life expectancy here. If you notice the mouse being hovered, let me hover onto this. It has shown me that it's taking a split second. If you see, it's taking a split second. I'm going to hover this onto Asia now. It's taking a split second. Africa, a split second, right? Now if I leave my mouse pointer there while I'm doing some presentation, right? I want this, probably this thing to be staying there forever. But after a few seconds, not sure whether it's 10 seconds or so, that pop-up is going to go away. Again, I need to hover, go out, come back, then it's going to show me that once again. Now, if I leave it like that for a few seconds, it's going to go away. So I might be doing a presentation. I might want that to remain there. So I need to again come back, move my mouse, right? However, look into Tableau 9. Did it take split second? No. Let me hover. Did it take split second? No. Seamless. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I'm just hovering and it's changing. Look at that. The time lag has been reduced drastically. So what else are we expecting? Lightning speed, right? Let me do a quick scatter plot and show you this on how speed it is if you have a number of other data points there. Do not worry about this because we are going to discuss about these things in detail. So let me put something here. I'm going to hover my mouse. That is what I'm showing you to explain the speed. Look at that. Look at that. Is it taking even a split second there? No, 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 absolutely no. It's not even taking a split second there. So this is the good part about your Tableau 9. Another new feature. So you know, Tableau software was founded on the idea that data analysis and subsequent reports should not be isolated activities, but should be integrated into a single visual analysis process. What does that mean? So there are multiple things to this. This means that, say this is one sheet that I've created. I'll just rename that to scatter plot. Do not worry, we are going to deep dive on each and every visualization. Each and every step which I'm performing now, we are going to discuss in detail in the subsequent modules. This module is only about the introduction. I do not want to keep it very boring by reading the slides, hence I'm showing you these things, right? So say this is world GDP, right? I can create a new dashboard by clicking on that, or I can drag and drop these things. So what happens in this way, I can show multiple things on a single screen. Yeah, multiple things I'm showing, right? So I'm bringing everything onto a single page. And analytics should not be a different thing. If I right click on this, and if I say trend lines, show trend lines, I'll be able to see the trend lines and I'll be able to come up with a prediction model. How much time did it take for me to build a prediction model? 2 seconds. Whereas if I were to write the same code in R, I'll have to write, you know, this command, linear regression. Is it there somewhere? Yeah, here it is. Linear regression model is equal to, this is a Y that I'm going to predict, tell all these things. I need to run this command. After running this command, it's obviously throwing error because that data set is not loaded here. And then I'll do various other things here, right? So rather than writing all these things, it's just click of a button, right? But it's limited. It's not as exhaustive as R. Nothing can replace R. Tableau is just a supplement to R. The R visual coding that you do, probably you want to visualize that in Tableau. Because if I go to my senior management and say, hey, I'm going to run a command for you and show you how it works, they're going to shoo me away, right? They'll say, all right, thanks for your service. You can move on. Because who is going to understand this code and who is going to understand, you know, the underlying logic behind the statistics and all that? It's irrelevant. My intention is to communicate clearly and efficiently. How do I do that? Using visualization, right? Guys, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, right? You're free to ask me at any given point of time. So you have Tableau, which combines data exploration and data visualization in an easy to use application format, right? So for example, say I'm working on a particular data set. I want to view the underlying data here. All I need to do is right click on that and say view data. You see the profit and sales. Can I export everything? Oh yes, you can do so. Can I highlight everything and copy it to an Excel sheet? Yeah, you can do so. Can I look into the underlying data? I do not want to just look into this data. I want to look into the data which is available in sample superstore. Can I do so? Yeah, yes, you can do so. Click on this underlying, you'll see everything. How easy is it? How quick is it? Right, so you can do all those things. Needless to say, speed is one extremely important thing in Tableau, because even if your visualization is going to take, say, 15 seconds, people do not have patience nowadays. No one has patience because we are working at the speed of light. So that is the important thing. Simplicity, it is very simple. It's just drag and drop and your job is done. It's very powerful because it integrates with most of your statistical tools. It integrates with most of your databases and all that. And you know for a fact that the graphs are very beautiful. And you have this. It's very flexible also because I can execute the R commands from Tableau. So Tableau integrates with R. You can write commands. Right? It integrates with SAS, SPSS, most of the files. So your job is cut short when it comes to, giving this Tableau to your developers to work on that. If a person is good at Java, if he says, hey, I don't know how to work on Tableau, tell him that you need not know Tableau because it's just drag and drop. If he knows Java, he can execute those commands from Tableau also. This is the power. You have wide variety of graphs. And when should I use which graph? That is the most important thing, right? I cannot use any visualization of my chart. Let me ask you this question. Is using a pie chart a good thing? If I have 5 different categories to be showcased, what do you guys think? Is pie chart a good visualization? If I want to showcase 5 different categories. We are bent up on pie, right, to a great extent. Sankalp, Pramod, Naresh. Is pie chart a good representation at all in the first place? If you have 5 categories. Sankalp says yes. Any other thoughts around that? Because I want to, if you're showing single points of data for each category, yes. Example percentage. Okay. So you're under the same thought process, right? To show the market share, etc. Okay. So let me quickly pull out one interesting visualization and show you why pie chart is not preferred. All right, I'll show that in just a minute from now. I'm going to take away the sharing because I need to quickly browse and bring about the data visualization from a different place. All right, let me know once you see the screen, and I want you guys to comment on this, on what's wrong with this. I'm showing the percentages. You told me that percentages can be shown. Absolutely fine. We can show, no doubt about that. Now I want you guys to, let me know on what are the bad things about showing these things on pie chart. Give a thought, give a serious thought. If a person, right, if your client or if your leadership team is aware of the basics of data visualization, basics, then they're not going to appreciate you using the pie chart. Take my word on that. Not exactly, Sankalp, because even if you have one category, right, you and now have the same understanding basically. I completely acknowledge that you can use pie chart, but there are a few thumb rules. If I want to show the categories, if there are 2 or maximum 3, right, like male, female, person bought, did not buy, yes, no, if I have those kind of categories, right, elections won by Democrats versus Republican, number of seats won, things like that. Yeah, I can use pie chart. However, give a serious thought to this visualization and tell me what's wrong with this. What's wrong with this pie chart? I'm representing 5 things, right? As you have told, we can represent the percentages, right? Using pie chart. Yeah, we can use. But what's wrong with this? It's beautiful. It's 3D with beautiful animation here. But what's wrong? Thinking hard? Only one dimension? Out? Any thoughts from your end? All right, no problem. So my question here was, what's wrong with this pie chart? What's wrong with this pie chart? So if you look into this, here we have 40%, right? And here we have 21%. For me, I feel that this 21% should be exactly half of your 40%, approximately. But I just get a sense that, you know, this 21% is maybe 75% of this 40% by looking into this graph. The second thing is the 15% here and another 15% here. I feel that this 15% has a major chunk in comparison to this 15%, right? And one more thing is, if I were to represent the same thing in a bar format, it would have looked much simple for me because the comparison becomes easier. Now what happens, you know what? I need to look into this 40% and 15%. And then I visually think about that once again. Though you're giving me a visual representation, once again I'm going to my visualization world, virtual world. I'm thinking that, okay, 40% and 15%, so it's less, things like that. Instead, if I represent that in a bar format, I need not think about any other visualization. Then you have 15% here, you have 15% here, and you have 9% there. Right? If I have this kind of a representation, I need not even worry about how to compare. I need not virtually compare these things in my mind. Those things can be avoided. And there is another concept called as data ink ratio. Data ink ratio says that whenever you're representing something, right, your data should be more, ink should be less. That means use less of your colors and all that, but try to maintain this ratio to ensure that there is no open space left out. For example, if I use a pie chart, the 4 corners here is gone just because it's in circle shape, right? I'm not using this space. It's waste now for me. The space is a waste, right? So these kind of things can be avoided. And you know, moving forward, as in how we move forward, I'm going to explain you clearly on why 3-dimensional images are a big no-no in a 2-dimensional space. Whenever you represent a graphical image, right, on a computer or any of your presentations, it's a 2D space that you're using. Right? This is my y-axis and this is my x-axis. I cannot have a z-axis which will be pointing towards you. From your computer, it will be pointing towards you, the z-axis. I cannot represent that in a 2D scale, right? So 3D is a big no-no. Do not use that. And pie charts, if you're representing 2 categories, differentiating 2 things, then it's okay to use. But more than 2, please do not use a pie chart. If a person doesn't know about basic visualization, he can use that and you can get away with that. But if the client or your stakeholders are aware of even the basics of data visualization, they will not appreciate you using that. All right, back to our discussion here. Another good part about Tableau is that you can work with every major data source, from Excel workbooks to largest databases. That's the good part once again. So even if you are working on big data, there is no chance that your system might crash because you'll not directly work on big data files in Tableau. Instead, you'll use Hadoop or some kind of big data environment, right? Try to bring the data to a structured format, and from that data, you come up with visualizations. That's the good part, right? And then you can even extract data from large sources, and you can place that on your local machine. The speed is something that I've already spoken about, and then I've shown you, right? So if you want to sort something, if you want to filter something, if you want to group something, right? It's extremely simple. So if I were to sort something, for example, right? I want to go to profit. I want to quickly filter that, right? And then I want only the positive things. I do not want the negative things. Probably I'll go there and click on apply, jot down. So the negative things are gone now. Simple. How quick is my filtering, right? And I know for a fact that there are a lot of data points within that if you look into the data. It's not such a simple data store, right? It's having how many rows? 5,784 rows. Approximately 6,000 rows. And I could do a quick filter around that. Even if you have a large data set which your Excel cannot handle, still you can proceed with this. One more interesting thing is flexibility. You can easily change any part of your view to look exactly how you want, ranging from date, point, shapes, colors, right? Let me show you that also. So say I'm not liking these circles. Instead, I want a different shape. I can click on that shape. I can select probably filled circles, or probably if I do not like the size of that, I want to reduce the size of that. I just click on the size and reduce that or increase that. All these can be done using simple navigation. See how flexible that is. All these things we are going to again discuss in detail, right? So I'm just giving you a high-level overview on what Tableau does. Simplicity, drag and drop wherever you want, sort the data automatically or manually, however you want to do that, right? It's very easy. You have a lot of calculated fields, right? So we'll get into the calculated fields shortly, right? You can just right-click on any of those things, or let me do that. So this profit ratio is a calculated field, so let me edit and show you. So you can provide these kind of simple calculations. So what am I doing? Profit by sale is going to give me profit ratio. Simple thing, such a simple thing, right? And yeah, dragging and dropping, right? I can remove this region. I don't want region, I want segment. And I want colors associated with that. There you go. I don't want segment. Probably I want subcategory. I drag and drop that. I don't like this visualization. I want a bubble chart. I do that. Right, and Tableau is intelligent enough to, you know, select most of the things. If I don't like that color, I edit the color, I change the color to a different color. So the thing that I'm trying to bring to your attention is that Tableau is an extremely easy thing, right? And if you know SQL, it's even more easy for you because doing advanced things such as, you know, trying to extract only a particular field and things like that is extremely easy. Let me show you even that. Suppose you have big data that you're dealing with, and if you're connecting to a particular file, say I'm connecting to this Microsoft Access database, right? Coffee Chain was an inbuilt data store in Tableau 8, but in 9 they have removed that. So anyways, we have that file available online. You can download that. So let me open that. There is no password or security required. I click on OK. It has brought me here, right? Either I can drag and drop the entire worksheet. These are all the worksheets within your Access. Or I can drag and drop this entire thing. Or let me not do that. Let me bring the fact table, right? Or I can write a new SQL, new custom SQL, right? I can write that and ensure that I call in only profit, only marketing, right? Or specific columns based on some specific conditions there, right? All that is possible. All that is possible there. You can write your own custom code or whatever you wish to write. You just drag and drop that, you write down your own SQL command, your job is done. So that is how simple it is in Tableau. And once you're done, right, how do you want to share your file? Tableau visualization, probably I want to store this as a PDF document. So you can print a PDF, you can save this PDF document and send it across to your stakeholders. Or you can save that as a different file. Or I can save this as a Tableau file only and share the Tableau file. Now the recipient also needs to have a Tableau file, right? If he or she wants to view that. What if that person is not keen on purchasing the license? Then you have free Tableau Reader. Similar to your PDF, right? You have Adobe Acrobat Reader. Similar to that, we have Tableau Reader, which can open the Tableau files. If you want to open Word document, you need to install MS Office. If you want to open your PowerPoint presentation, you need to install MS Office. On similar lines, if you want to open Tableau, you need to install Tableau Reader. And you can also publish your work to the web for wide consumption of results, right? For example, say I want to publish this visualization. I can simply go to server, I can say Tableau public, and save it to Tableau public. Tableau public is, you can think about that as cloud-based, wherein I'm going to share my files using this Tableau public, sharing. Say I do not have a license for Tableau server. I do not have a Tableau server at all. Where do you publish your visualization? Either send it as a Tableau file and have the end user install Tableau Reader and read this. He cannot do any visualization changes. However, he can just read that. Or publish it to Tableau public and then have your users view that, your stakeholders view that. Or if you have a specific Tableau server, you place it there. The good things about Tableau server is that integrity, security, and all that is taken care of. If you place that on Tableau public, it's accessible to the wide audience, not just to you and your stakeholders, right? It's accessible to all the wide audience. I use Tableau public if I were to write this in a open forum or display this visualization to blogs and things like that. I can use Tableau public. If it's a secure data, say banking data, how can you put it in a public domain? For that, you need to have a Tableau server. So the license part is a little costly there. Tableau, let me show you that, the licensing part. Click on buy there. You have the personal edition, right? But Tableau personal edition is only for the data stored in files. It's $999. Professional edition is for your business purposes, $1999 per user per annum. All right, and then you have Tableau server. You need to contact them for pricing, but it's costly. Tableau Online. It has a hosted version of Tableau server. If you feel that, hey, it's extremely costly for me, I'm a startup organization, probably you can look into this. $500 per user per year, right? You have student pricing. It's free for students, by the way. If you can check out on Edureka whether you can use your details that you're a student and then get some kind of edge, get it free. You just need to provide your ID card, and then it's free for use, right? And for if you're a not-for-profit organization, or if you're into education sector, then you have a different pricing there. You need to contact them basically and say that, hey, we are not for profit, so all these advantages are there. So that's about the licensing part, right? And beautification, we need not I need not explain more about that. This is aesthetically very pleasing, and almost all the visualizations in Tableau are aligned with your data visualization standards or principles. As and how we move forward, right? Though the data visualization principles and concepts which one has to abide when one creates a visualization, those things are not part of this curriculum, but I'll try to touch upon those. And here is the installation and architecture feature essentials. We have Tableau Desktop, which is the tool that I'm using now. You can create your visualizations and share those views on Tableau. And this has a client-server architecture. You can use a visualize or view your visualizations on mobile clients or web clients or desktop, whatever is comfortable for you, right? And Tableau Server is an enterprise-class business analytics platform that can scale up to hundreds of thousands of users. That's the beauty of one Tableau Server, right? You need not worry about, spending money on purchasing multiple servers because the load on one server is going up. So you not worry much on those lines. So these are the bunch of reasons, right? If someone asks you why Tableau, why not ClickView, why not some other tool? So these are all your unique selling propositions of Tableau. And one more good part is it offers powerful mobile and browser-based analytics. Nowadays, it's all about smartphones. If you're still relying on your desktops and laptops, then we might be outdated very soon, right? So it's the world of mobile phones. Here is a Tableau product architecture. So you have all these databases, Excel file, Word document, whatever be it, right? Twitter, that is unstructured data, IBM, SAS, Vertica, Oracle. You have all these things, right? From these places, you can extract the information to Tableau and start working on Tableau Desktop. You can query and get the data of your choice into Tableau, right? And then start working on that. Once you create your visualization, there are multiple ways that you want to publish that information to the various stakeholders. And one of those is send it as a Tableau file to your Tableau reader, right? Have them install Tableau readers and open the file. Or if they do not have Tableau reader, if they are lazy enough to download that, then you can send it in PDF format or Excel format, or when I say Excel, the data source as, or when you create tables, right? You can also create tables in Tableau, probably those tables, or PPT format or Word format, right? You can send those. Or you can publish it to your server. That's the meaning of server-client architecture, right? So you can publish it to server. Here, the key thing is security. You can provide read access to few people. You can give write access. You can give edit access to few users and things like that. There is a cache, which will help quickly get your documents which you have been accessing. There's a repository of all your visualizations that are stored. There's a presentation layer, management and automation. So you might say that on a daily basis, I want this report to be triggered to these stakeholders. It does that. So this kind of automation is also possible. So one of the projects that I was part of, right, Nestle client. So they have a bunch of products that they have, and people keep tweeting about the products. Say Maggie, for example. Recently there was an issue, right, because of excess lead. So people keep tweeting. We have used Hadoop layer. We have pulled this Twitter information using Flume. If you know Hadoop, then Flume, you might be knowing that. So using Flume, we extracted this Twitter information, right? And then we have done a word cloud on Tableau desktop, and we put a condition that every 24 hours, this extraction of information happens 24/7, right? And then these reports would get triggered, word cloud would get triggered once in 24 hours to the client. From there, you can either use your web browser or your mobile, if you're a mobile user, and start accessing them. Is Arun able to hear and Sankalp able to hear me? Yeah, so let me quickly inform Pramod. Able to hear properly. Seems like it is an issue with your internet. Okay, fine. Then it's fine, right? Because others are able to hear Pramod, Sankalp and Auna are able to hear me, so it's only you. So just check that connection. Right? Here we have the Tableau server architecture. We have the customer data. We have the data warehouse, data marts, you have the files, cubes, all that. And you have few data connectors in between. Fast data engine, SQL connector, MDX connector, repository. And here are your main components, right? You have a data server, which deals with the data. You have your WSQL server, which deals with your visualization part. And then you have the application server. This is the architecture. You need not worry much about this, right? And you have gateway load balancer. So load balancing is very important because we are dealing with, big data, right? If I put data worth zettabytes onto one server tends to crash, obviously, right? Because the load on that server is going to increase tremendously. So what do? I probably want to balance out the load by looking into failover servers and all that, right? And then you have your clients. So this is your entire architecture. I have the data, I have the connectors on how to connect to each data source, because Tableau connects with multiple data sources, multiple databases. So I need to have these data connectors because each database is different and I need to connect with all of those. And then I have the data server, which deals with the data. You know that Tableau is good at visualization, so you have SQL server and an application server. Not just that, it's also taking care of your load balancing. That's the beauty. So you'll at no point, feel that the speed is compromised, or if one server fails, my data goes for a toss. No, you need not worry on those lines. It's inbuilt. And that's the data layer we have discussed already, right? And one more important thing here is it's in-memory data engine. What do you mean by in-memory? Anyone? What do you mean by in-memory? RAM, absolutely, right? So you're going to save the details in your memory, RAM. Read and write access would be super fast. How do you think it's working seamlessly when I hover my mouse? Without any time lag. If I hover my mouse pointer onto these red dots or green dots, right, it's going to quickly display me the information. Why is that happening? Because it's in memory. That is the reason why it is super fast. That's a good part about your Tableau. And that is one feature why you see the fast and responsive things here. And you have data connectors. We need to have multiple data connectors for obvious reasons, because we connect to the various databases. Cloudera, Hadoop, Hortonworks, right? MapR. There are multiple things. And also you can connect to the ODBC connector, right? That's a native connector there. There are two modes of interacting with the data. One is live connection. The example that I've given of the Nestle client, right? That was a live connection. Because people keep tweeting across the globe 24/7. If here we sleep, people in US wake up and then start tweeting. If they sleep, we wake up and start tweeting. So it's 24/7 that the tweets are getting generated. Hence, I need a live connection because I don't want to miss out on any of the interesting insights. Any bad thing which people are speaking about, I want to know instantly, immediately. right? Or if people are speaking about some enhancements to a product, I need to know that, because otherwise there'll be a lot of hue and cry in the media, right? Similar to our Maggi example. In India, they have banned Maggi because a few people have told that there's a lot of lead content. If this tweets were analyzed or social media network was analyzed live, they would have probably avoided all that denting of their brand. Your brand image is dented in the public, right? They could have avoided that. Naresh has a question. If you have large data set, more than RAM can handle, then that's a limitation, right? Then nothing can help. You'll have to probably increase your RAM, or probably divide your data set, or probably if you feel that it's limited, then you need to do this. If I were to connect, right, or let me go to the data source here. So probably instead of having all these things, I would write a custom SQL and extract only those portions of the data set which is of relevance for me. These are all the workarounds available, Naresh. So, and then you can establish a live connection using SQL, MDX statements. Is there a question? Or, all right. Okay. So these things are things which we have analyzed already. So in memory is something that I've already discussed about, right? Since it's in memory, the read and write responses would be much faster. Data engine can access disk storage as well as information on RAM and cache memory. Right, that's a good part. Here goes another statement, Naresh, for you. Okay, Sankalp has this question, will we use it in the cloud for this training? No, that's out of our discussion, but you know, probably I will show you something on Amazon Redshift because I have an account on that. I'll show you on how to connect to cloud and try to do that. Right? So here is another answer to Naresh's query. Data engine can access disk storage as well as RAM, as well as cache memory. So you have three different places from which your Tableau data engine can extract. Hence, if you have low memory, it will not impact to a great extent, but if you obviously use terabytes of data to analyze, it'll be very slow in response. All right. And these are the four things which are pivotal to your Tableau server. You have an application server because you're connecting with various other applications, various data sources, and things like that. WizQL server is important because you're generating aesthetically pleasing visualizations, right? And these visualizations should be in line with your data visualization principles. Just because I want to show you some interesting visualization doesn't mean that I'm going to show you some 3D graph on 2D. I'm going to show you pie chart unnecessarily. No. It's aligned with most of your data principles, data visualization principles. And then you have your data server because you need to manage data which is coming from different sources. And then you have the backgrounder, which works in the background to check whether there's a load on a particular server. If yes, I need to look into shifting the load to another server. Load balancing kind of, right? So those are the various things. And also your backgrounder does one more thing. If you put automated emails or automated triggers for your visualization, saying that on a daily basis at 9 a.m. I want you to trigger this particular visualization to the end users. Pramod's question is that, will this course cover Tableau administration, installing, load balancing, etc.? No, Pramod. Tableau server installation and administration is not part of this program. All right, you have the gateway and load balancer, which we have already discussed. We spend a lot of time. We have discussed about using the Tableau visualizations on your different browsers, web browsers and mobile applications, right? So you can use that if you have an iPad, Android browser, mobile Safari, and all these web browsers are supported. Pramod, I'm not sure whether Edureka has something around Tableau administration, that is server support and things like that. Not sure around that. But obviously you have a lot of programs around that in outside world. But Edureka, I don't think so, but you can get in touch with them and check whether they have one such course or not. Similar to your Hadoop administration, right? There is a course on Tableau administration. All right, when it comes to clients, we know for a fact that we have Tableau Desktop, we have the professional version and the personal edition. Depending on the license cost, a few of the features are disabled, enabled. The Tableau Desktop can be used to open any number of workbooks which are published on Tableau server. So if I have one client open, right? This is one dashboard. If there is another dashboard on the server, I can open that also. If there's a third one, I can open that. So there's no limit on that. On how many dashboards can be opened simultaneously, how many worksheets should you be working simultaneously, right? There's no restriction on that. And one more interesting thing is, look at this dashboard. If I make a change, say here or here, I'll just change the color, orange light. So if I make that change, right, it's automatically reflected here in the dashboard. So I need not worry about that. That's the good part. All right. You have a free trial for 14 days. You can install that and start using that. If for some strange reason, if you face any problem, right, just ensure that your antivirus and spyware is disabled while you install that, download and install. So here is a simple installation. This is, you need not spend a lot of time. Yeah, it's up to 14 days now, right? And for a license, probably you need to check with Edureka. And this is a screenshot of your Tableau 8. This is not Tableau 9. I've shown you for Tableau 9, right? How the view looks. This is 8. Let me show you here. Let me go to home there. So this is how it looks like, Tableau 8. And if you want to open any workbook, you need to click on that and try to open that. However, in Tableau 9, the entire look and feel has changed. You just need to click on that. Go to the start page there. There's the. Yeah, and one more thing is, here, if I click on more servers, I can just type whatever server I'm interested in. But in 8, right, I need to click on that and I need to scroll. There is no search. So there are subtle enhancements in the home page between 8 and 9. There's a start page section. I've explained about the start page section with respect to your Tableau 9. And we have seen these things also. Mark cards, show me panel. These things are not there in your Tableau 9. This screenshot is from Tableau 8 basically, right? So that brings us to an end. So let me spend some time in explaining the basic navigation here. So click on that. Let me open a new sheet here. Here is a new sheet. Here are all the things. So let me connect to an inbuilt data store. This data here, right, contains all the data stores which you are connected to. As I've told you, if you know SQL, right, you can write SQL commands and pull whatever data you are interested in and start working. There is another thing called as analytics here. Analytics. So as you know, Tableau is also good at analytics, right? It's not just about visualization, but also dealing with analytics. And you know for a fact that, not sure whether you've heard about this or not, data scientist, sexiest job of 21st century. Your Harvard Business Review has come up with this statement which says data scientist would be the sexiest job of 21st century. And they've also made another statement here which says the shortage of data scientists is becoming a serious constraint in some sectors. And this is the trigger. Most often than not, this is the trigger, right? for Tableau, making life easier for the data scientists. This is just a start, right? This is just a start. It doesn't have all the advanced analytics features, statistic features, but it's covering basic things here. But the roadmap for Tableau is such that moving forward, people should be tagged to Tableau, not just for visualization, but also for your analytics purpose. So if I were to show you this, right, these are the various triggers basically for Tableau's roadmap. What is the logic behind including analytics in your visualization, right? These are the various reasons. If you see here, United States alone is going to face a shortage of 140,000 to 190,000 people with analytical expertise and 1.5 million managers. This is the reason why most of your tools are ensuring that they include the analytics part. That's a trigger. Though this was there in your 8 also, though it was there, analysis, your analytics part was here also. It's coming here as a different section, right? And if you see this option there, if I click on that, it's gone. Oh my God, is it gone? Where did it go? How do I get it back once again? It's here, don't worry, towards the left corner. This is the dimensions pane, as we have learned already. This is your measures pane. You can drag and drop your filter here, and you see that there is only United States, so that filter doesn't make sense for us. Probably state is gonna make sense because I have all the states here. So whatever you want to select, you can do so. That's a quick filter option there. And in pages, right, normally you tend to put your date there, any of your dates there. So it will throw you that. The visualization that I've shown you earlier, this part, right? How is it getting played? Because I've put it in pages, right? And I want those pages, so it's going to scroll slowly and show you a motion chart. So put it there. Next thing is your marks pane, in which you have the color shelf, which is going to give you the color. So let me do this. Let me drag and drop the profits for each and every segment there. So if you want these 3 to be colored based on the category, I drag and drop, you see the color category there. If I want to increase the size or decrease the size, I can do so. If I want profits also be on the label, it's going to show me the labels there. If I drag and drop, if I hover my mouse there, right, I see only profit, category, segment, and profit as a tooltip. But if I want sales also, I drag and drop on the details. Now if I hover my mouse, I see the sales option also there. These are the bunch of things that you need to know here, right? And here you have the column shelf and the row shelf. These are called as shelves. I drag and drop from dimension pane or measure pane to your shelves. And here show me panel, anyways, we know that, right? And one more thing which I want to show you here is that if I want to connect with R, right, I need to go to help, settings and performance. Here it is, manage R connection. Here, manage our connection. So I will get into that shortly, right? The sample workbooks, there are 2, right? Substore, Superstore, and World Indicators. If you want regional data set also, you can do so. So there are a bunch of options here. And if you want to publish on the server, you can do so. If you want to publish to a server, say you have a server, Tableau server, you want to publish to that. All you need to do is click on the sign in, provide the server name and say connect. You can also write a story. This is an interesting thing, enhancement in your Tableau 9 once again. So if you look into Tableau 8, no, there's also 9. So here, if you look into 8, right, you have only 2 options here. One is your worksheet and another thing is dashboard. The enhancement to 9 is there is a small icon here which is called a story. So you can use this as a PPT also, PowerPoint presentation. Let me show you one last thing with that. So I think there is a Tableau R integration file. This one or this one? All right. So it has a lot of R scripts. So this is by another person, right? He has used this for his storyboarding, basically. Right? So you can write your story. This is your story, right? When I open that story, right, I can put all these kind of things, images of my choice. I can write the text of my choice, right? And then I can provide all these kind of things. So it's as good as using your PowerPoint presentation, which is aesthetically pleasing, right? So what happens if you were to provide some training on Tableau? Do I need to go back to the PowerPoint each time, or do I need to open the Acrobat Reader each time and then come back to Tableau, show the visualization, go back? That is what is happening now, right? I'll go back here, I'll show you this, then I'll come back, then I'll show you here. Instead, if I have these things in Tableau itself, right, it's easier. That's a good part, right? Yeah, so these are the basics which I intend to cover in this session. As I've told you, there is not great visualization in session 1. From session 2, that is from tomorrow onwards, we'll do a lot of hands-on on Tableau. And there are a few practical things that you might want to do. And for tomorrow's session, right, you just try to learn the basics of text tables, bar, line chart, pie chart, charts, and a few other charts, right? For next module, it's important. And then in the next agenda, tomorrow's agenda, we are going to look into how to connect to the data sheets. And from there on, come up with some basic visualizations, such as text tables, bar chart, line chart, pie chart, basic maps, and interpreting the scene, right? And I'll also ensure that I provide you with the basics on how and when to use these kind of charts. All right, do you have any questions at this point of time? Aun, Naresh, Pramod, Sankalp, do you guys have any questions? No problem. Thank you, Sankalp. All right, fine. So as I've told you, slowly we are going to build on this and go to the advanced concepts. So if you feel that you're not exposed to the advanced concepts, that is not the fact. They will be exposed once you're clear with the basics on basic navigations and all that. You'll be exposed to the advanced concepts. So by the end of this tutorial, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a lot of takeaway, most of the advanced concepts as well, right? Okay, since you have no doubts, thank you so much for your time. And one last thing is, please do provide your feedback. The moment you close the session, there will be a pop-up window. Please provide your feedback on that, good or bad, right? So please provide that. Thank you so much for your time, friends. Tomorrow we're going to connect and take this forward and learn more interesting stuff. Thank you. Have a great day or good night for people who are in US.